They were athletes, actors, musicians, and reality TV stars. Some had fame, fortune, and millions of fans. But one terrible choice or one dark secret changed everything. These are the shocking stories of celebrities who went from the spotlight to a prison cell, proving that fame can open doors, but it can't lock out consequences. Number 1. Joe Exotic. If there were an award for the most unbelievable life story in America, Joe Exotic would at least make the finals. With his bleached mullet, cowboy hats, country music videos, and a private zoo filled with exotic animals, he looked less like a real person and more like a character invented by a Hollywood screenwriter after several cups of strong coffee. Long before Tiger King became a global phenomenon, Joe Exotic had already built a reputation as one of the most eccentric figures in the country. When the Netflix series exploded in popularity, millions of viewers became fascinated by his bizarre world of big cats rivalries and non-stop drama. But behind the memes, jokes, and internet fame was a much darker story. Authorities accused Joe of participating in a murder-for-hire plot, targeting animal rights activist Carole Baskin, a feud that had become almost legendary among his followers. As investigators dug deeper, additional concerns surrounding the treatment of animals at his zoo added even more controversy to an already shocking case. The trial captivated the public. It felt like reality television colliding headfirst with a true crime documentary. Every new headline seemed stranger than the one before it. One minute, Joe was recording country songs. The next, he was sitting in federal court. That's not exactly the career path most guidance counselors recommend. Ultimately, Joe Exotic was convicted and sentenced to a lengthy prison term. Number 2. Josh Duggar. For years, Josh Duggar was presented as the model American family man. As one of the central figures on the hit reality show 19 Kids and Counting, he grew up in front of millions of viewers. The Duggar family became famous for their conservative values, strong religious beliefs, and seemingly wholesome lifestyle. To many fans, Josh represented the success story of a young man raised with traditional principles and a bright future ahead of him. But behind the carefully polished image, serious problems were quietly brewing. As scandals began to emerge, public confidence in the Duggar family's picture-perfect world started to crack. Then came the revelation that would completely destroy Josh's reputation. Federal investigators uncovered evidence that led to criminal charges involving illegal digital material related to minors. The case shocked viewers who had spent years watching him on television and believing they knew who he was. The contrast was staggering. One day, Josh was known as a reality TV personality promoting family values. The next, he was at the center of a federal criminal investigation. The headlines spread rapidly across the country, and the family that once welcomed cameras into their home suddenly found itself facing an entirely different kind of spotlight. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the carefully constructed image that had taken years to build collapsed in a matter of months. Following a highly publicized trial, Duggar was convicted and sentenced to federal prison. The sentence marked a dramatic and irreversible fall from grace. Number 3. Shannon Richardson. Most people dream of becoming famous. Shannon Richardson actually managed to do it, at least for a moment. She landed small roles in television shows, including The Walking Dead, and hoped to build a career in Hollywood. She wasn't a household name, but she had one foot in the entertainment industry and a chance to pursue bigger opportunities. Unfortunately, the event that would make her famous had nothing to do with acting. In 2013, federal authorities uncovered a shocking plot involving letters contaminated with ricin, a highly toxic substance. The letters were mailed to several public officials, including then-President Barack Obama. The case immediately became national news. Investigators scrambled to identify the sender, while media outlets covered every twist and turn. What began as a terrifying security threat soon transformed into one of the strangest celebrity crime stories in recent memory. As investigators dug deeper, the trail eventually led back to Richardson herself. The revelation stunned the public. Here was a woman who had appeared on television, now linked to a federal criminal case that sounded more like the plot of a political thriller than real life. In Hollywood, actors often spend years hoping for a starring role. Shannon Richardson somehow landed the lead role in an FBI investigation. Instead, a career move nobody recommends. After pleading guilty, she was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. Number 4. R. Kelly. For decades, R. Kelly stood at the very top of the music industry. With chart-topping hits, sold-out arenas, and a voice that helped define modern R&B, he built an empire that seemed untouchable. Songs like I Believe I Can Fly turned him into a global superstar, while fans viewed him as one of the most gifted performers of his generation. To the outside world, he was living proof that talent could turn dreams into reality. But behind the platinum records and standing ovations, troubling allegations followed him for years. Rumors circulated, lawsuits emerged, and questions lingered around the singer's personal life. Yet, despite the controversy, his career somehow survived. Time after time, it appeared as if fame, money, and influence were creating a shield around him. Then that shield finally cracked. As investigators and journalists uncovered more information, a much darker picture began to emerge. Witnesses came forward, former associates spoke out, and federal prosecutors assembled a case that would ultimately bring down one of music's biggest stars. The man who once commanded concert stages around the world suddenly found himself sitting in courtrooms instead. It was a dramatic reversal. One day you're asking fans to wave their hands in the air. The next you're listening to a judge explain your future. In 2022, Kelly received a lengthy federal prison sentence, marking one of the most stunning celebrity downfalls in entertainment history. Number 5. Dave Meggett. At one time, Dave Meggett was the kind of player every football team wanted. Known for his explosive speed and ability to change a game in a single play, he built a successful NFL career that included a Pro Bowl selection and a Super Bowl championship. Fans admired his athleticism, teammates respected his talent, and it seemed he had secured a place in football history. For many athletes, reaching the NFL is the dream. Meggett had gone even further. But away from the bright stadium lights, a very different story was unfolding. Years after his playing career ended, Meggett became the subject of serious criminal allegations involving violence against women. The accusations shocked many who remembered him as a gifted athlete. As investigations moved forward and evidence was presented in court, the former football star found himself facing a battle far different from anything he had encountered on the field. There were no cheering fans, no game-winning touchdowns, and no comeback drives left to save the day. The contrast was striking. In football, Meggett built a reputation for escaping defenders and finding open space. In real life, however, there was no way to outrun the consequences. The courtroom became the setting for the final chapter of a career that had once looked so promising. It's a reminder that athletic ability may earn admiration, but it does not place anyone above the law. Ultimately, Meggett was convicted and sentenced to a lengthy prison term, bringing a permanent end to any hopes of restoring his public image. Number 6. Gary Glitter. There was a time when Gary Glitter was one of the biggest names in British rock music. During the 1970s, his glitter-covered image, energetic performances, and catchy anthems made him a global superstar. Songs like Rock and Roll Part 2 became staples at sporting events around the world, and millions of fans saw him as one of the defining entertainers of the glam rock era. For a while, it seemed his legacy was secured forever. But some legacies don't age well. As the years passed, troubling allegations began to emerge, gradually revealing a much darker side to the man behind the stage persona. What started as rumors eventually became criminal investigations spanning multiple countries. The public was stunned as one accusation after another surfaced, transforming a beloved music icon into one of the most disgraced figures in entertainment history. The contrast was almost unbelievable. The performer who once thrived on applause and adoration now faced intense scrutiny from law enforcement and the media. His flashy costumes, larger-than-life image, and decades of fame could no longer distract from the growing list of accusations. If fame is a spotlight, Gary Glitter discovered that spotlights can expose as much as they illuminate. Following a series of legal proceedings, Glitter was convicted and sentenced to prison. Number 7. Mark Wahlberg. Today, Mark Wahlberg is known as one of Hollywood's most successful actors. From blockbuster action films to producing hit television shows, he transformed himself into a global star worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Fans know him as a hardworking family man, businessman, and respected entertainer. Looking at his life now, it's hard to imagine that prison was once part of his story. But long before the red carpets and movie premieres, Wahlberg's life was heading in a very different direction. Growing up in Boston, he became involved in crime, drug use, and street violence during his teenage years. His troubles reached a breaking point in 1988 when he was arrested after assaulting 2 Vietnamese men in separate incidents. The case generated serious attention and left a permanent stain on his record. Instead of preparing for a future in entertainment, the teenager found himself facing the consequences of decisions that could have changed the course of his life forever. Unlike many names on this list, however, Wahlberg's story took an unexpected turn. After serving time, he slowly rebuilt his life. Music came first with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, followed by an acting career that exceeded even the most optimistic expectations. Number 8. Kid Creole Nathaniel Glover. Long before hip-hop became a global billion-dollar industry, Nathaniel Glover, better known as Kid Creole, was helping build its foundation. As a member of the legendary Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, he stood among the pioneers who transformed rap music from a local movement into a worldwide cultural force. His influence on music history was undeniable. Few artists can say they helped create an entire genre. Kid Creole could. For decades, he was celebrated as a hip-hop innovator, a performer whose contributions earned respect across generations. But in 2022, the music world was stunned when his name appeared in headlines for a completely different reason. Authorities accused Glover in connection with the death of a homeless man during a confrontation on a Manhattan street. According to investigators, what began as a dispute escalated into a tragedy. Fans who remembered him as a pioneering rapper struggled to comprehend how one of hip-hop's founding figures had become involved in such a shocking incident. It was the kind of story nobody saw coming. The courtroom proceedings that followed marked a dramatic contrast to the stages where he once performed. Instead of standing before cheering crowds, he was facing a judge. One minute you're helping invent hip-hop history, the next you're making legal history for all the wrong reasons. That's a career detour no music manager can prepare for. Ultimately, Glover received a lengthy prison sentence, bringing a heartbreaking chapter to one of rap's earliest success stories. Number 9. Darren Sharper. There was a time when Darren Sharper seemed to have it all. As one of the NFL's most respected defensive stars, he built a career filled with accolades, Pro Bowl appearances, and a Super Bowl championship. Known for his intelligence on the field and his ability to make game-changing plays, Sharper was admired by teammates and fans alike. After retirement, many expected him to enjoy a successful second career as a sports analyst. Instead, his name became attached to one of the most disturbing scandals in professional sports. The shocking allegations began to surface in multiple states, painting a picture that was completely at odds with the image he had spent decades building. Investigators accused Sharper of targeting women using drugs to incapacitate them before committing crimes that horrified the public. As more accusations emerged, the case grew larger and more disturbing, sending shockwaves throughout the sports world. Fans struggled to reconcile the charismatic football hero they remembered with the man described in court documents. It was the ultimate betrayal of trust. On Sundays, Sharper had made a career out of reading offenses and predicting what opponents would do next. Yet no one saw this scandal coming. If there was ever proof that appearances can be deceiving, this was it. Facing overwhelming evidence, Sharper eventually pleaded guilty to multiple charges and received a lengthy prison sentence. Number 10. Tammy Sytch. Long before social media influencers existed, Tammy Sytch was already a superstar. Better known to wrestling fans as Sunny, she became one of the most recognizable faces in professional wrestling during the 1990s. With her charisma, beauty, and larger-than-life personality, she helped redefine what it meant to be a female star in sports entertainment. At her peak, she was everywhere on television magazine covers and in the hearts of millions of fans. Few women in wrestling were more famous. But fame can be a difficult thing to hold on to, especially when personal struggles begin to take control. Over the years, Sytch's life became increasingly troubled by legal issues and repeated arrests. Fans watched with sadness as the woman who once stood at the center of the wrestling world appeared trapped in a cycle of self-destructive behavior. Each new headline seemed more troubling than the last. The cheers that once followed her were gradually replaced by concern and disappointment. Then came the incident that changed everything. In 2022, Sytch was involved in a traffic collision that resulted in the death of a 75-year-old man. Authorities later determined that she had been driving under the influence. The tragedy shocked both the wrestling community and the public. Unlike many celebrity scandals, this wasn't just about a damaged reputation. A life had been lost, and another life would never be the same. Following legal proceedings, Sytch received a lengthy prison sentence. The punishment marked a heartbreaking end to one of wrestling's most recognizable careers. Number 11. Jared Fogle. For years, Jared Fogle was one of the most recognizable faces in advertising. His story seemed almost too good to be true. After losing a significant amount of weight while eating Subway sandwiches, he became a national sensation and the official spokesman for the fast food giant. Millions of people saw him as a symbol of determination, self-improvement, and healthy living. He wasn't a movie star or a professional athlete, yet he became one of the most famous personalities in America. But behind the inspirational image, a much darker reality was hiding. As federal investigators began examining allegations connected to Fogle, the public could hardly believe what they were hearing. The man who had spent years promoting a positive message suddenly found himself at the center of a criminal investigation involving illegal activities connected to minors. The shocking revelations dominated headlines and sent waves of disbelief across the country. Fans who had admired his transformation felt betrayed while major corporations rushed to distance themselves from the scandal. The collapse was swift and devastating. In a matter of weeks, years of carefully built public trust disappeared. Television commercials vanished. Business partnerships ended. Ultimately, Fogel pleaded guilty and received a lengthy federal prison sentence. The punishment permanently ended the public career that had once made him a household name. Number 12. Jen Shah. Few reality TV stars embraced luxury quite like Jen Shah. As one of the breakout personalities on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, she built her brand around designer clothes, lavish parties, and a lifestyle that looked straight out of a billionaire fantasy. She was loud, dramatic, unforgettable, and exactly the kind of personality reality television loves. But behind the glamour, federal investigators were building a very different storyline. In 2021, viewers watched in disbelief as Shah became the target of a massive fraud investigation. Prosecutors alleged that she was involved in a nationwide telemarketing scheme that targeted vulnerable individuals, many of them elderly. Suddenly, the woman known for reality TV drama found herself facing real-life legal drama, and this one couldn't be solved during a reunion special. The case quickly became national news. Cameras that once followed her to luxury vacations were now capturing courthouse appearances. Fans who tuned in for entertainment found themselves watching one of the most shocking celebrity downfalls in recent reality TV history. It's the ultimate reality show plot twist when the drama follows you off the screen. In 2023, Shah was sentenced to federal prison, bringing a dramatic end to the extravagant lifestyle she had proudly displayed on television. Number 13. Bill Cosby. For decades, Bill Cosby was known as America's Dad. Through The Cosby Show, he became one of the most beloved figures in television history. He was funny, charismatic, and widely respected as an entertainer who helped shape American pop culture. To millions of viewers, Cosby represented wisdom, family values, and success. His reputation seemed nearly untouchable. Then came one of the most shocking celebrity downfalls ever witnessed. Over the years, numerous women came forward with allegations of misconduct, transforming a beloved television icon into the center of a national controversy. As more accusations emerged, public opinion shifted dramatically. Fans who had grown up watching Cosby struggled to reconcile the warm father figure on screen with the disturbing claims dominating headlines. The legal battle that followed captivated the nation. In 2018, Cosby was convicted and sentenced to prison, marking a stunning fall from grace for a man once considered one of America's most admired entertainers. The image was almost surreal, a television legend who had spent decades making audiences laugh, now entering a courtroom instead of a studio. Although his conviction was later overturned on procedural grounds, and he was released, the damage to his legacy had already been done. Number 14. Roman Polanski. Few filmmakers in Hollywood history have experienced a life as extraordinary and as controversial as Roman Polanski. A brilliant director responsible for acclaimed films like Rosemary's Baby and The Pianist, Polanski earned worldwide recognition for his talent behind the camera. Critics praised his work, audiences admired his storytelling, and his place in cinema history seemed secure. Yet behind the awards and standing ovations lay a story that would follow him for decades. In 1977, Polanski became the center of a criminal case involving a 13-year-old girl. The allegations shocked Hollywood and quickly escalated into one of the entertainment industry's most infamous scandals. Before sentencing could be completed, Polanski left the United States and settled in Europe, beginning a self-imposed exile that continues to define much of his public legacy. What makes the story so unusual is that his career never completely stopped. While many public figures disappear after major scandals, Polanski continued directing films and even won an Academy Award decades later. The irony was striking. Hollywood celebrated his work, while controversy continued to surround his name. For nearly half a century, debates over Polanski have divided the film world. Some focus on his artistic achievements, while others argue that his legal history overshadows everything else. Number 15. Jerry Harris. At the height of his fame, Jerry Harris seemed impossible not to like. As one of the breakout stars of Netflix's hit documentary series Cheer, he became famous for his infectious smile, boundless energy, and uplifting personality. Audiences around the world fell in love with his positive attitude, and media outlets quickly turned him into one of reality television's brightest new stars. Endorsement deals followed, television appearances multiplied, and it looked like his future could not have been brighter. In 2020, allegations surfaced that completely changed the trajectory of Harris's life and career. Federal investigators accused him of inappropriate online communication and misconduct involving minors. The news sent shockwaves through fans who had viewed him as an inspiring role model. The contrast was jarring. The same person known for encouraging teammates and spreading positivity was suddenly facing serious criminal accusations. As the case unfolded, public support quickly evaporated. Television opportunities disappeared, sponsorships vanished, and the career that had been accelerating at full speed came to a sudden halt. It's one of the harsh realities of fame. Years spent building a reputation can be undone far faster than they were created. One moment you're celebrating victories on Netflix, the next you're sitting in a federal courtroom. In 2022, Harris received a lengthy prison sentence, effectively ending the remarkable rise that had made him a household name. Number 16. Allison Mack. For years, Allison Mack was best known as Chloe Sullivan on the hit television series Smallville. Smart, charming, and beloved by fans, she spent more than a decade building a successful career in Hollywood. To viewers, she was the loyal best friend helping Superman save the day. Off-screen, however, she would become involved in a story far stranger and far darker than anything ever written for television. Everything changed when Mack became deeply involved with NXIVM, a controversial self-help organization led by Keith Raniere. What initially appeared to be a personal development group was later accused of operating as a manipulative cult. As investigators uncovered more details, allegations emerged that shocked the public and transformed the case into international news. The revelations stunned fans. The actress, once associated with one of television's most wholesome superhero shows, suddenly found herself linked to one of the most notorious scandals in recent memory. It was the kind of plot twist that seemed impossible to believe. If someone had pitched it as a TV script, producers might have rejected it for being too unbelievable. Facing mounting evidence, Mack eventually pleaded guilty to charges connected to her role within the organization. She later expressed remorse for her actions and cooperated with authorities. The court ultimately sentenced her to prison, bringing a dramatic end to a career that once seemed destined for lasting success. Number 17. Mike Tyson. Before he became a global icon, Mike Tyson was the most feared man in boxing. With explosive power and lightning-fast knockouts, he conquered the heavyweight division while still in his early 20s. Opponents looked terrified before the opening bell even rang. Tyson wasn't just winning fights, he was ending them in spectacular fashion. To many fans, he seemed unstoppable. But outside the ring, his life was becoming increasingly chaotic. In 1992, Tyson was convicted in a highly publicized criminal case and sentenced to prison. The news shocked the sports world. The heavyweight champion who had spent years dominating opponents suddenly found himself facing a challenge no amount of punching power could solve. Instead of training camps and championship belts, his daily routine became prison walls and locked doors. For many athletes, prison marks the end of the story. Somehow, Tyson's story was only getting stranger. After serving nearly 3 years, he returned to boxing and reclaimed a place in the spotlight. His comeback was filled with triumphs, controversies, and moments so bizarre they seemed pulled from a movie script. Honestly, when your career includes championship belts, pet tigers, and some of the most infamous moments in sports history, ordinary was never an option.